This is a program called AvsP, which I wrote in 2007. AvsP is a text editor that I made for the video scripting language called Avsynth. So here you're seeing some Avsynth script. I did not write this language. This language is a scripting language that you use to edit video files. So here you can see direct show source, which you choose a file that's on your computer, and then you can write actual little chunks of scripts, so sharpen and levels to actually edit the video file, which then you would save through some other program. So Avsynth is this simple little language, and at the time I wrote this program, most people wrote Avsynth scripts just using Notepad, and I wanted to add a lot more visual tools to take advantage of the video editing that Avsynth provided. And so here you can see that my program has syntax highlighting, auto-completion, tooltips, things like that. So if I typed in sharpen again, it'll actually give you tooltips to tell you all the different values. And I actually pulled that documentation. So Avsynth is written in C and C++. And this program is written in Python and WX Python. And Python has a library called ctypes, which lets you actually communicate with C++ DLLs. So I was able to access the Avsynth DLLs and pull information straight from the Avsynth DLL libraries. Other than just the text editing features, there's a video preview. And so you can actually see the video that you're editing, drag it to different positions, and you can see as my mouse is hovering over the different positions, you see in the status bar the position of the mouse in terms of pixels, the hexadecimal, you see the frame that you're on out of the total number of frames. So I really tried to put in a lot of very useful information from a video editing perspective, as much as I could, into that status bar. The really big feature here is that you can compare videos, because I sharpened this video by 1, which is a full sharpen amount. And I want to see what exactly that did to the video. So what I can do over here is I can right click over here and say copy to new tab. And this is a tab to text editor, and the biggest reason why this has an advantage is because, let's say on this clip, I give it a sharpen of 0. I'll go ahead and refresh that. So this was the original clip, and then I'll switch over here, and because it's a tab text editor and because I'm working with the exact same file, our AvsP is smart enough to recognize that it's this exact same file, so it keeps the video frame at the exact same location, and it allows me to compare very quickly what exactly I did before and after with these different filters. You'll note that when I'm in the video editor, you see this extra 1 and 2. So I had a lot of custom visual effects to the interface. So what that means is that I can type on the keyboard the keys 1 and 2 just to quickly switch between these two tabs. So you don't have to memorize a lot of keyboard shortcuts. I tried to put a lot of these visuals in there. Another example of that is I made a custom trim selection editor. So when I pull that open, you can see here this is a slider, and WX Python provides a lot of these different UI widgets, but I created my own custom UI widget so that I can get these little wings on the side. So I can actually just click over here and click over here, and that will create my trim. Everything in blue I'm keeping, and I also kept a green dot right up in the corner so that if you go over to this frame over here, you can see this is a frame that I'm going to lose. You can actually click on these little edges right here just to jump between them quickly. And that green dot is particularly useful because it's always hard to tell, am I keeping that particular frame that right at the edge, or am I going to lose that frame? And so you can see right there which frames you're keeping. And if I go ahead and apply, it applies it, and it adds a trim to the bottom of my script. So everything is just happening straight up as a text editor, and AvsP just provides a lot of tools and resources just to make it easier to edit. Another cool feature is these sliders that automatically get pulled down from the side. So if I wanted to change my source, I created a GUI interface in order to change the file. If I wanted to change the sharpen amounts just by little bits, I can just go ahead and do that, and it'll automatically refresh up on my screen. Let's go ahead and set it to 1, and back to 0. And here's a plugin called Levels, which is again a video editing plugin, and I can just go ahead and change any of those particular values and sort of see them on the fly without having to manually type in all the values into my script. So that's the nuts and bolts of AvsP. It has a ton of options. I spent over a year working on this, and I got a lot of feedback from users. So it was used by thousands of people. The Avsynth community was very large at the time that I was writing this program. And you can see over here on the website that I had built for it, there's a very large change log, very detailed information, and I kept in communication with the users. Doom 9 was a video editing forum that was very popular at the time, and so I would post my program to that forum, and people would submit feature requests, bug requests, all those types of things. This is 2007, and I didn't really know much about version control, and I think at the time SVN was a popular one. I don't even know if Git was because it was that popular at the time. So I'd really just done everything through the forum, and I kept all of that stuff going on through there. You can also see on the download page that this program was popular enough so that people translated the interface into multiple languages. So I made it very easy to just add it, drop in a translation file, and it's been translated in over 7 different languages. So that is AvsP. It's was popular enough for other people to actually pick up the development. So there's a program called AvsP Mod. So I released the whole thing as open source, and people continued to develop it after I stopped working on it. So that's AvsP. It was a pet project that I'd worked on for a couple of years that really pushed my knowledge of Python, WX Python, even C++. And I learned a lot, working with the community and building out features and bug requests. It was my first really large-scale open source project. So I hope you enjoy it.